What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I got some more news for you. The signings just keep on rolling in. So let's see. They signed a couple more players in addition to the ones that we'd already talked about. The next one is signed safety Clayton Fejedelem. I am sorry about the last name. He was signed to a 3-year deal as well. So apparently, so far, all these guys have been signed to 3-year deals. The Miami Dolphins have signed safety Clayton I'm sorry, I'm not going to continue to try and say his last name. He's 26, a former 7th-round pick of the Bengals back in 2016. He played out the final year of his 4-year, $2.4 million contract and was testing the open market as an unrestricted free agent for the first time in his NFL career. Yeah, so let's see. In 2019, he had 14 tackles, no interceptions. He's a safety. We don't really have any safeties, so he's a body. They signed him to a 3-year deal, though. I'm not really sure where, I don't know. I mean, he's still a pretty young guy. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't really have, like a lot of stats. I mean, he's another body, I guess. That's why it's just kind of weird that they apparently signed him to a 3-year deal. I would think maybe like bring him in on a 1-year deal or whatever, because anyway, but I guess, they really need safety. So there's one more, hole filled. And then the other big one, obviously, Eric Flowers and Shaq Calhoun were big ones, but it looks like the Dolphins have also signed cornerback Byron Jones. And so this was one of the big ones. Here it is. Ex-Cowboys cornerback Byron Jones and Dolphins agreed to a 5-year, $82.5 million contract. Wow. So he will be paired up with Xavier Howard, which is a pretty good duo. I mean, this is, out of all of the signings so far, this probably is the best one. Although, again, I'm not in favor of the way that they are just like breaking the bank. And, people are like, oh, they're not breaking the bank. Look, the Eric Flowers and Shaq Lawson are going to get $10 million apiece in their a year, $10 million a year apiece in their contracts. They're both 3-year, $30 million deals, but 2/3 of it is already guaranteed. So even if for some reason, if they don't keep those guys, then there's going to be like dead money and stuff like that. And there's going to be situations, but I mean, it depends on how the contracts are fully structured. I don't know how it breaks down per year, but it's going to be $10 million per year. There's pretty sizable contracts. Xavier Howard was already one of them, was the highest paid cornerback in the league. And now you have Byron Jones, who is also going to be, so now the Dolphins have the 2 highest paid corners in the league. Theoretically, with these additions, our defense should actually, on paper, substantially better. On paper, right? You have Shaq Lawson in there, should considerably, I mean, it's only, they signed 3 guys. So, they signed the safety, they signed Byron Jones, so now we have 2 corners. We have a safety. I don't know how good the dude is. And then Shaq Lawson should give us a bump in our pass rush. But again, we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. There's definitely, some upsides, and these guys definitely, on paper, again, at least, are massive upgrades to what we've had before. But we got to wait and see. Do they, play well in the scheme? Do they play well together? Blah, 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 blah. There's a lot that goes into it. But the Dolphins are clearly breaking the bank. They are blowing through this cap space that they have. So, former Dallas Cowboys cornerback Byron Jones has opted to sign with the Miami Dolphins in free agency, according to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. The deal is large, Rappaport added. Sounds like $17 million a year or more. ESPN's Adam Schefter then reported that Jones' new contract will be for 5 years, $82.5 million, with $57 million guaranteed. There will be $40 million paid out in the first 2 years. So they are seriously front-loading these contracts too. which means if they don't keep these guys, right, this is a $5 million, $82.5 million deal, 5 years, but $40 million of it is over the first 2 years. So what if they don't keep him after year 3? Well, I mean, then it becomes a bit of a waste. Anyway, the deal would become official once the new league year begins on Wednesday. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot more about, other teams were in on him and so on and so forth. But anyway, so, I mean, look, the Dolphins are being, massive spenders here in free agency. And, we knew that, right? That's why, like, anybody who said that the Dolphins were not going to do this or claimed that they were not going to do this is ridiculous, because they literally, not only did they tell us that they were going to be massively active in free agency and be big spenders, Chris Greer said those words, or some of those words anyway, maybe not exactly all of those together, but he did say we were going to be very active in free agency for sure. They told us ahead of time, and then they set themselves up to do it. And so, the next thing that I expect them to do, I mean, free agency is still, open for a few weeks before the draft, but I expect them to move up. I expect them to trade away a significant amount of draft capital, a chunk of draft capital, to move up and get a quarterback. I don't know who, as I've been saying this entire time, I don't know who. The way, or what I do know is that whatever quarterback they get is the quarterback that Stephen Ross loves. Whatever that means, whenever that is, it could be 5 minutes before they make their pick. I don't know, but it's whoever Stephen Ross loves. Maybe it's Tua, maybe it's Herbert, maybe they decide to jump to the number 1 spot to get Burrow. I mean, after all of the splashes they made, Eric Flowers, Shaq Lawson, Byron Jones, man, the Dolphins, everybody's going to be like, oh, the Dolphins are going to be contenders this year. We'll see. I hope so, but we need to be careful. But then watch, then they're going to I don't know if they're going to trade all the way to the number 1 spot, but I think that especially with so far the signings that they've been doing and whatever, I think it's showing that they will likely do that. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Anyway, that's what I got for you. A little bit more breaking news. Hope you guys enjoy my videos and perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. And of course, as always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I'm out. I'll see y'all soon. Phins up.